Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charnley. This is another church on the coast of Cumbria. This is St. Peter's, Drigg. Now the last week's church is going to have been in St. Cuthbert's Seascale. And Seascale is the Victorian seaside resort, but this is the actual medieval settlement. It's some way inland from Seascale, somewhat protected from the storms. And so the shore around here is the Drigg shore, which was notorious. It's quite rocky, dangerous, onshore breezes, and shipping back in the days of sail in particular. Shipmasters were very wary of Drigg shore. Many ships were driven ashore here, and some of the dead are buried in the churchyard here at Drigg. The church was rebuilt in 1850. There was a little medieval church here. The new one is taller, more impressive, and very Victorian. There's a bit more money in the area at the time. So we'll have a look around and see what we can see. As usual, then, we start at the west end, and you can see here's the font, which is Victorian. There would have been a smaller, simpler font in the previous building. They have had some issues with damp here. We'll see that in a minute. And part of it is simply a matter of there's a roof here, there's storms, and it's fairly tall. So first of all, before going further up, we'll have a look. Here are the pictures of the old church. Well, here's pictures of the old church. You can see there's the old church, long and low. It looks longer than this building. I don't think it can possibly have been longer than this building. It might have been slightly longer, but I suspect that it's simply a matter of maybe the orientation slightly different, but simply that it was a lot lower in the water. And you can see here is the west wall, and you can see that the brick here has been exposed. This is because of water penetration getting under the plaster, which then had to be removed to prevent big problems. And so there is a little north aisle. The original would not have had one. Here we have an example of the sort of thing that people did in the evenings, particularly women would do, and young children before television. This is embroidery, and a woman has embroidered, girl has embroidered the words to Rock of Ages there. Up here we have just a fairly straightforward aisle, really. So we'll head up through the middle. You can see here the pews have numbers on them. This is from the days of pew rents. And the idea, people sometimes get rather upset about this idea. How can you own something? Well, you didn't, you rented it. And the idea was it was part of a commitment, and it was very largely a commitment. We will pay this amount of money, but you got something for it. It was a way of making sure that you had an income for the church. So here we have the war memorials. Here is the 1939-45, so Lance Corporal John Jenkins Sewell is the only man we have from the Second World War. First World War, many more. Mostly privates or NCOs. There's no officers here, which tells you something about the makeup of the area, basically. Here we have memorial to the Reverend William Singleton of Drigg Hall. He was Vicar of Hanslope and Castlethorpe in Buckinghamshire, and for over 44 years, and then he retired to Drigg Hall, which was the family home. There's the pulpit, which is Victorian. Here we have the women at the tomb. He is not dead, but risen. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. The organ here, which is dated 1897. It's a memorial to the 60th year of the reign of of the Most Gracious Majesty Queen Victoria. So, memorial to Queen Victoria's reign, and by William Rushworth and Sons of Liverpool. Fairly simple organ, vestry door next to it. Altar, and I'm sure that is an altar, and the east window is mostly plain glass with some stained glass panels in it, which is very typical. It's a nice big chunky candlestick there. And so that is the inside here at St. Peter's at Drigg. Very simple, even though it's a grander building than the previous one, it's still quite simple, all things considered. And you can see from that west wall that although you've got, from the outside it appears to be stone, it's actually brick and rubble with a stone facing, which was cheaper, of course, but also allowed for a bit more of the insulation, I expect. So there we go, St. Peter's Drigg. And so here we are outside of Drigg. It's a little bit difficult to get the south side in, simply because of where the road is. The road's directly behind the camera, and there's a bit of a drop down. So you can see here the bell cock with its two bells, and still a very simple building, built along with the school and the parsonage here. So we'll have a look around and see the salient features, as they say. So here we are outside, and we have here immediately a memorial to Captain William Birch Sykes, 1st Royal Cheshire Militia Light Infantry, and you can see from his wreath and sword he's quite pleased with being a captain, because the militia is the volunteers, but that's how it is, and this arranged with all these old gravestones here. So I don't know if that door was ever open, but certainly it's pretending that it was, if it wasn't. And so we can see inland there's the Wasdale and the mountains inland, the fells. So we have more of these very fancy memorials here. Tells you something. There are some quite wealthy people here in the 18th century. There are these wealthy farms, and of course the parish is quite spread out. There's quite a lot of people living here, but they're not living bunched together. They're living spread out in the fields, and then you've got those who are involved in fishing and such like. So this is very typical of the area. Again, very Victorian with its little bell cot there. You can see there the chimney is being chopped off when they didn't need it anymore. They installed a heating system that didn't need it, and why maintain a chimney that you don't need anymore? So you can see there, over there, one of these big houses, and of course Victorian era, when the railways come, and there is a station here, you have people from the town, people from Manchester, moving out here or having holiday homes, because it is a very nice place to live. So that is St. Peter's Drigg. We'll just go around the front. You can see there's the back of the old schoolhouse, which is no longer the school. On a summer's day like this, you can really see why people did come out here. Excuse me. Forgive me. Why people did come out here in the summer for their holidays, because it's when the weather's nice in the summer, it's really pleasant. When the weather's not so nice in the winter, it can be really very, very difficult. Probably just see over there between that tree and the old schoolhouse, just a little bit of the estuary where the river goes out to the sea. To the sea. And so we're back here in the churchyard at the front, and it's just about to see there, just get it so it's more visible. There's the originally it's Victorian lich gate, and that's then restored just in 2012. So there we have it. And so here we are, Drigg St. Peter's, Victorian church replacing a medieval one on the site. So thanks for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.